Hi there, Sandra here from the Schwowin's Nest. Welcome to another edition of Timber Tuesday, where all my projects are working with wood. DIY number one is using this piece of wood. It was 6 feet long and I cut it down to two 3 foot sections. It's just a piece of plywood. It was already this width. I'm just using a regular latex house paint to give it one good coat. So what I did is go over to my Cricut Joy and I used this plastic poster board that you can get at Michael's and I cut out some stencils to say welcome. Now, I thought I had all my measurements correct, but unfortunately, I'm not able to use the stencil this time, but because I can cut out the letters and use the stencil itself, it's doing double duty. So I've cut out a stencil and I've also cut a reverse stencil using the letters. So I could take the letters, put them down, and then paint over them and have the background color showing through the letters. Anyhow, I'm not going to show you any more of this because I can't use it this time, but hopefully you'll see me use this in another project soon. Instead, I cut out a piece of cardstock with an open frame. So this is a 4 inch by 4 inch frame, and that will make sure that my letters are all the same size and they don't go any bigger or smaller. So of course for the O, I didn't put an O. I'm going to draw a cute little sunflower. So I'm just using the top of this paint bottle to create the circle in the center. And then again, I'm just going to freehand some petals all the way around. When I'm painting by hand, I make sure that I use the right brush for the job. This one is a flat 1/2 inch brush. It has a square edge to it, which is going to help me create all of these corners on my letters. It's also going to help me create the width of the stems of my letters. They're going to be exactly the same. You'll see here in a minute what I mean. I'm going to be able to just take my brush and drag it down the stick or stem of the letter, and it's going to be the same size all the way through. Another tip I have for you is to turn your project around. Instead of trying to make your brush fit where you need it to be, turn the piece of wood. I was flipping this piece of wood around all over the place, just making sure that I could get my angle with the brush in the right spot, and it would make it much easier for me to complete. For the sunflower, I painted the circle black, and now I'm just using an acrylic paint in just the basic color yellow, and I'm going to go all the way around the petals. I thought at first I would make the little smaller petals behind a different color, but I decided to just do it all yellow first. Now I've added a little bit of a burnt orange color and I'm taking a smaller brush and I'm starting where the black circle is and just dragging that out a little bit. I actually have a blend of the yellow and the orange together because I don't want it to be a really bright orange. But this way I can do some nice shading and give each of those petals their own dimension. Then I went back in with some more of the yellow and just added a little highlighting to each of the petals, a little bit down towards the bottom and then just a little bit towards the top as well, just on one side. Using a nice sage green color, I just drew a few different sized petals coming out of the sunflower. Once the paint was fully dry, I wanted to give it even more highlighting. So this is just a chalk marker that I picked up at a dollar store, and I'm just outlining each of the petals. I also added some lines at the bottom of the petals just to show sort of the creases that you can sometimes see in flower petals. Next, I used a black marker to kind of do the same thing as I did with the white marker, just to highlight those little creases a little bit more. Then using a dry brush, I just pounced some yellow into the middle of the flower. I think it turned out pretty cute. To make the sign look a little bit old and distressed, I'm just using the same paintbrush that I used for the letters, and I'm just brushing it up against the edge of the sign all the way around. The final step for this sign is to just use a makeup sponge and draw a little bit of a line just on the left-hand side of the letters. I didn't want to go all the way around, but I did want the black to stand out a little bit, and that touch of yellow did the trick. Today's video is part of the Summer DIY Collab Hop hosted by my sweet friend Sonia at Domestic Diva DIY. If you're not sure how a hop works, what you need to do is go down to my description box, click on the link to the video for the next channel in the hop, and then do the same thing for all of the videos. Once you get back to me, you know you've completed the loop. DIY number 2 is using the drawer from this taters and onion box. I spent a whole bunch of time out in my garage this past weekend working on just painting up some wood items. So I'm giving this 2 good coats of my white latex house paint. This is the front of the drawer, and I just love these little buttons. I think it gives it a lot of character. I'm just going to take some fine grit sandpaper and sand off some of the white so you can see some of the darker wood underneath. Quite a while back, I took apart some bed frames, and this is one of the bed posts from the headboard. It's got this little piece of wood that just doesn't want to come out. So I'm going to take a couple of little saws and just do my very best to cut it off. I also sanded down the leg quite a bit just using a fine grit sandpaper. I wanted to get some of the shine off, and that would also help to clean it. I also then went down a little bit to the bare wood in some spots. You can see that here. So the gel stain that I'm using, which is by Varathane in the color dark walnut, and that would just show up so much nicer than the reddish brown it was to begin with. I'm going to leave the stain on for a good hour till it's almost fully dry, and then I'm going to take another clean cloth and just buff it down. This is a piece of 2x6 that I had in my garage. It was actually a scrap wood piece that I picked up at my local hardware store. Make sure you go and ask them. In the cutting section, they're always doing cuts for people, and there's always stuff left over. And usually you can get it for a super good price. I think I paid $3 for like 10 pieces of all of these. And I know in some hardware stores you can even get them cheaper than that. So I'm using the same gel stain, and I'm going to use the same rag, just put it on pretty heavily and then let it dry. The dark walnut on the raw piece of wood looked a little different than the actual bedpost, so I decided just to take my cocoa bean chalk paint, which is a beautiful rich brown, and just do some dry brushing on it to give it just a bit of a deeper color. I'm going to use a different way of putting these together. These are called wood screw stud pins. They look like a screw, but there's no head on them, and that allows you to screw it down into a piece of wood and then screw another piece of wood on top. I'm going to go ahead and drill the size of the screw down into the 2x6, and then I'll do the same for the wood post. So I'm going to screw the bottom portion into the 2x6, and then I'm going to take the bedpost and screw that on top. I'm also going to use some weld bond glue to make sure that both pieces of wood are securely fastened to each other with the screw, but also with the wood glue. That'll just make sure that it has a really good hold. I'm going to drill a hole in the top of the bedpost so it fits my screw, and I'll also do the same thing for the bottom of the drawer. Then I can screw them both together, and I have a gorgeous plant stand. this is your first time here on my channel, I'd like to give you a great big warm welcome. I'm so glad you're here. If you like what you're seeing, I'd love for you to stick around by hitting that subscribe button. I post tons of farmhouse decor. I love working with wood on my Timber Tuesdays, and I also have a dollar store Saturday series. You won't want to miss out on that. DIY number 3 is starting off by using this piece of Dollar Tree sign. It's just a leftover chunk that I had, and I'm making a hexagon shape, which is the shape of a stop sign. And it was a little tricky trying to get all of these angles right and the measurements right, but I finally figured it out. And I am going to go ahead and just use my utility knife to make the cuts. Next, I'm using some of these skinny pieces of bamboo. You could just use some popsicle sticks. This is just what I happen to have on hand. And I'm going to glue them with my hot glue gun on each corner. I need to be able to have somewhere to glue on my pieces of wood that I'm going to be creating the crate out of. So I can't use anything square because these aren't square corners. So this is what I figured out to do, and I just made sure that they were tall enough to accommodate 2 pieces of my wood. Now that I've got the vertical pieces all done, it's time to add the horizontal pieces. I'm using these little sticks that come from Dollarama. They're little wood garden stakes, super easy to cut. If you don't have anything like this, you could definitely use jumbo popsicle sticks or even paint stir sticks. I'm going to hot glue them down, finish the first row all the way around, and then add a second row on top of that. I'm going to paint the whole thing dark brown with this cocoa bean chalk paint by Rust-Oleum, and then I'm going to give it a bit of distressing with some black and the clay color from Martha Stewart vintage chalk paints. Using some of this jute rope that I get from the Dollar Tree, I'm going to cut out 2 equal lengths. I'm going to feed the rope into the basket, then hot glue it in place, leaving about a 1/2 inch at the top. I'll hot glue the other side as well, and then I'll hot glue the 2 pieces of rope together. This will make a really nice high-end finished look for this little crate. I did the same for the second piece of rope, and now I have 2 loops for a hanger. I'm going to take another piece of rope and just wrap it around a few times to create the hanging portion of this planter. Then I added some little vines, and I think it looks absolutely adorable. I'd like to thank Sonia for hosting this summer DIY collab hop. It was a lot of fun. Make sure you go down to my description box and click on the link to the next channel. If you like what you saw, I'd love for you to give me a thumbs up. That tells YouTube that you like what you see and they promote me more, which helps my channel grow. If you're new to my channel, I'd love for you to hit that subscribe button and stick around a while. Take care. See you in the next one.